You can reset your own happiness way faster than you think, even when everything sucks. Just the art of walking alone is a natural antidepressant, but you can amplify your happiness. You can amplify the results of walking by just listening to your own thoughts. Write those things down. If they're negative, challenge them until you can get rid of them. Gratitude is also another thing that really helps for happiness, but it can be a whole lot harder when life sucks. Now, if you want to get happy again in the shortest possible time, grab my free life map below. Now, I've got to tell you this story. My life sucked. Constant migraines, more pain than I could possibly handle, awake all night in pain where it felt like someone was standing on my head with spikes on the soles of their shoes. Sometimes it could last weeks at a time. Once it lasted 17 days out of 20. A bunch of chronic illnesses left me and my body absolutely destroyed. And I was a fit, healthy personal trainer before any of this stuff happened, or so I thought. Now, I got to this point where the majority of my thoughts were just negative, dark. I had no concept of gratitude. I was doing everything I could for my health, but my mind was still an absolute mess. Until I stumbled across this book that changed everything. That book was Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And I recommend it to anyone. I read that book in absolutely no time, despite it being really heavy in science and concepts that I couldn't necessarily grasp. But I really dug into the neuroscience and whatever else he was talking about. And I did all the activities that were going on in the book. And then it suggested doing these meditations at the end. So I actually went and bought the follow along meditations so I could listen to them and follow them along. And I just kept up with it and I stuck with it. And it's like 6 or 7 years later, I'm still sticking with the same stuff because it keeps me in this point where I am bringing myself up and focusing on the good things, and I am in a much happier place than I've ever been my entire life. And here's how you can get the same out of your life, even when everything is going against you. First, I want you to get your energy as high as possible. That's got to be your highest priority. One thing I've noticed with anyone that I'm dealing with, and even within myself, is when your energy is low, that is when you are going to be at your worst. That is when you're going to have the darkest thoughts. If you're having a bad day because you either didn't have a really good sleep that night, or you just did too much over the weekend or the day before and it left you exhausted, you'll find that your mind is open to attack, as in your energy is low and your mind just goes to the negative thing straight away. And that is a bad, bad place to be. Just by getting your energy up, that changes everything. It dulls that voice down. Instead of it shouting at you, it might become a quiet whisper, or you might not hear that negativity coming at you anymore. So whatever you can do to get your energy up is going to be a massive advantage to you to try and keep you in a much happier place. So what I suggest is look at your food. What are you eating? Are you eating crap food? Because if you're eating crap food, you're going to have crap energy. Are you eating good food? If you can eat good food, you're going to have much better energy, more balanced energy. So think about single ingredient foods as being the best place to start. Meat, vegetables, fruits, fish. You're always going to be on a much more higher vibration and a higher energy eating these single ingredient foods. On top of that, exercise is a big one, but not too much, because if you overdo it and you drain your energy, you can end up in that hole, that dark place where your energy is so low that those thoughts start creeping in. So maybe just back off how hard you're training or exercising for a while. What that looks like is maybe CrossFit or high rocks or high intensity interval training or endurance training might not be the best thing right now. You can still do some strength training, but I recommend dropping it back by maybe 25% and not necessarily going to failure, or at least not pushing beyond failure. You still want to do something, but you just don't want to overdo it so you can keep your energy. And this is a short-term thing just to try and get your energy back up so you can get you in that good place again. Next thing, I want you to listen to your self-talk. I want you to listen throughout the day. Hear what you are telling yourself up here. When you can hear what's going on, you could do something about it. But you can't do anything about it until you actually know what you're telling yourself. So listen. Take the time to listen what is being said, because you may be repeating these same thoughts over and over again 50 to 100 times a day. And that could be just dragging you down. It could be one thing just telling you that you are worthless and never going to amount to anything. And if you stay in that state, things are never going to improve. You have to change that narrative. So we need to be able to write down whatever is going on in here, good or bad. Get it out of your head. And I just mentioned step 3, write it down. Writing it down, it solidifies that thing, takes it away from being a thought, and now it's a real thing that you can put in front of you and do something about. It's not easy to do something about something that's floating around in your head, because those thoughts, they disappear so quickly. You could be concentrating on it, somebody says one thing and you completely lost your train of thought. So I suggest getting a piece of paper or a diary, or getting the notes section in your phone and writing those thoughts down in your phone so you can do something about it. You want to get it out of your head and get it in front of you so you can refer back to it at any time and make something happen. Okay, let's move on to number 4. I want you to challenge what that is saying. Whatever is written down in front of you, pick one of those negative thoughts and challenge it. If it's telling you it's worthless, well, is that true? Is that really true? Do you really believe that you are worthless? Or is that in one element of your life that you're thinking that you are worthless because of what someone said or some experience you've had? So what you can do is now think about that thought. It's like put up points for or against. I'm worthless because, and this proves that this is true, or I'm worthless. This proves that it is not true. A lot of the time when you go through this process, you'll actually find that you can disprove whatever that thing is very, very quickly, because we don't rationalize it up here. It is just a thought running around. But as soon as you put it on paper, if you can disprove that that is a real thing, if you can prove that it's not true, that negative thought disappears instantly, and now you don't have to deal with that. You can go and look at whatever the next thing is, because there's always layers with this. There's always more different things going on, things that we're telling ourselves. But you'll want to challenge those negative thoughts as often as they come up so you can deal with them and replace them as fast as possible. Now, step number 5 is practicing gratitude. Gratitude anytime you feel miserable and every night before you go to bed. Could be even first thing in the morning when you wake up. If you wake up and you're just like, oh no, not another day, maybe gratitude is a place that you should be starting. Being thankful for some of the things in your life. Being thankful that you've got a bed to sleep in, comfortable bedding, and the ability to have a good sleep at night. The fact that you're safe. The fact that you have food to eat. That you have money to be able to buy things, to be able to survive. That you've got friends, you've got family. Sometimes it can just be being thankful for having a particular person in your life who you know has got your back no matter what. Being grateful, it really reframes what's going on. It takes you from the negative to a positive instantly. As soon as you're into that positive state, then that's going to keep you focusing on the good so much more throughout your day. If you feel like you fall in a hole and you're back to that negative pattern, come back to practicing the gratitude again. Stop and think of at least 3 things that you can be grateful for until you can pull yourself out of that negative state and bring you back up to a happier state. If you can do this and practice it preferably every single day, you will find that your happiness improves so much more and so much faster than you can imagine. You're now focusing on being happy, and focusing on being happy will keep you in a happy place, even when everything sucks. Even when things are not going right around you, you can still be in a happy place. I am happier than I've ever been in my whole life, despite having situations that are still absolutely nasty, migraines that can cripple me, days where they're just completely written off and I have to spend the day in bed, and I can still be as happy as I can possibly be. See, the healthier you are, the easier it is to get happy and stay happy. When you can hear the negative self-talk in your head and write it down and challenge it, you can do something about it, and you can overcome a lot of these things really quickly. And that is a really good thing. And then always come back to that gratitude of, hey, I've got some things in my life that I'm happy for. Despite the bad things, there are plenty of good things in my life that I can be grateful for. If you can come back to that on a regular basis, it can keep lifting you out of it. So make sure you are grateful and practicing it. The more you practice it, the easier it gets. I know when I started, it was really hard and I didn't feel anything, but you practice it, you practice it, and you practice it. And it will change things very, very quickly. Now, if you want to win this year and be happier than you've ever been, join my free Life Map program below. I'll coach you for free for 28 days and help you to get from a nasty, miserable place to a much happier place, to help you plan out what you want in life and start working towards it on all the different areas so you can come away at the end of the year feeling better than ever. I'll see you on the inside.